Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to my next video. Yesterday, I gave you a wrong name, the story I'm reading. But today I'm gonna fix this mistake, and the story name is The Things That Play. Alright, we're gonna continue our reading journey and finish this story right now. Next came lodger number 2, a handsome, melancholy man in the early 40s, with a brown, mysterious beard and strangely pleading, haunting eyes. He too found the society of Helen a desirable thing. With the eyes of Romeo and Attila's tongue, he charmed her with tales of distant climes and wooed her by respectful innuendo. Innu, innuendo. Remember this. From the first, Helen felt a marvelous and compelling thrill in the presence of this man. His voice somehow took her swiftly back to the days of her youth romance. This feeling grew, and she gave way to it, and it led her to an instinctive belief that he had been a factor in that romance. And then, with a woman's reasoning, oh yeah, they do sometimes, she over, leaped over common syllo, syllogisms, syllogisms, and theory and logic, and was sure that her husband had come back to her. For she saw in his eyes love with no woman can mistake, and a thousand tones of regret and remorse, which aroused pity, which is perilously near to love required, which is the sine qua non in the house that Jack built. But she made no sign. A husband who steps around the corner for 20 years and then drops in again should not expect to find his slippers laid out too conveniently near, nor a match ready lighted for his cigar. There must be explanation, and probably execration. A little purgatory. And then maybe if he were properly humble, he might be trusted with a harp and crowd. And so she made no sign that she knew or suspected. And my friend, the reporter, could see nothing funny in this. Set out on an assignment to write up a roaring, hilarious, brilliant, joshing story. Story of, but I will not knock a brother. Let us go on with this story. One evening, Ramonti stopped in Helen's Hall Office reception room and told his love with the tenderness and ardor, 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 okay, of the enraptured artist. His words were a brilliant flame of the divine fire that glows in the heart of a man who is a dreamer and a doer combined. Doer, doer. But before you give me an answer, he went on, before she could accuse him of sadness, I must tell you that Ramonti is the only name I have to offer you. My manager gave me that. I do not know who I am or where I came from. My first recollection is of opening my eyes in a hospital. I was a young man and I had been there for weeks. My life before that is a blank to me. They told me that I was found lying in the street with a wound on my head and was brought there in an ambulance. They thought I must have fallen and struck my head upon the stones. There was nothing to show who I was. I have never been able to remember. After I discharged from the hospital, I took up the violin. I have had success, Mrs. Barry. I don't know I don't know your name, except that I love you. The first time I saw you, I realized that you were the one woman in the world for me and all. A lot of stuff like that. Helen felt young again. First, a wave of pride and a sweet little thrill of vanity went all over her, and then she looked Ramonti in the eyes, and a tremendous throb went through her heart. She hadn't expected that throb. It took her by surprise. The musician had become a big factor in her life, and she hadn't been aware of it. Mr. Ramondi, she said sorrowfully, this was not on the stage, remember. It was in the old home near Abington Square. I'm awfully sorry, I'm awfully sorry, but I'm a married woman. And then she told him the sad story of her life, as a heroine must do, sooner or later, either to a theatrical manager or to a reporter. Ramonti took her hand, bowed low and kissed her, and went up to his room. Helen sat down and looked more mournfully at her hand. Well, she might. 3 suitors had kissed it, mounted their red-roan steeds. And ridden away. In an hour entered a mysterious stranger with the haunting eyes. Helen was in the willow rocker. What is that? Willow rocker. Knitting, a useless thing in cotton wool. He ricocheted ricocheted, okay, I get the word, from the stairs and stopped for a chat. Sitting across the table from her, he also poured out his narrative of love. And then he said, Helen, do you not remember me? I think I have seen it in your eyes. Can you forgive the past and remember the love that has lasted for 20 years? I wronged you deeply. I was afraid to come back to you, but my love overpowered my reason. Can you well forgive me? Helen stood up. The mysterious stranger held one of her hands in a strong and trembling clasp, clasp, trembling clasp. There she stood, and I pity this stage that it has no as- acquired a scene like that, and her emotions to portray. For she stood with a divided hair, the fresh, unforgettable, virginal love for her bridegroom was hers. The treasured, scared, honored memory of her first choice filled half her soul. She learned to that pure feeling, honor and faith and sweet, a beating romance bound her to it. But the other half of her heart and soul was filled with something else, a later, fuller, nearer influence. And so the all four, fourth, fourth, the all fourth, fourth, against the new. And while she hesitated, from the room above came the soft, rocking, petitionary music of a violin, the hag music bewitches some of the noblest, that those may pack upon one's sleeve without an injury, but whoever wears his heart upon the tympanum, 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 gets it not far from the neck. This music and the musician called her, and at her side honor and the old law held her back. Forgive me, he pleaded. 20 years is a long time to remain away from the one you say you love, she declared with a pur- purgatorial touch. How could I tell? He begged. I will conceal, conceal nothing from you. That night, when he left, I followed him. I was mad with jealousy. On a dark street, I struck him down. He didn't rise. I, I examined him. His head had struck a stone. I did not intend to kill him. I was mad with love and jealousy. I hid nearby and saw an ambulance take him away. Although you married him, Helen. Who are you? Cried the woman, with wide open eyes, snatching her hand away. Don't you remember me, Helen? The one who has always loved you the best. I'm a John Delaney. If you can forgive. But she was gone, leaping, stumbling, hurrying, flying up the stairs towards the music, and him who had forgotten, but who had known her for his and each of his two existences. And as she climbed up, she sobbed, cried and sang, Frank, Frank, Frank. Three mortals just juggling with ears as though they were billiard balls. Billiard balls. And my friend, the reporter, couldn't see anything funny in it. Alright, guys, thank you for listening to me and watching me today, and see you tomorrow on the next video. Bye.